I'll tell you. G's and H's. In the meantime, before I officially start, last week I had the Grenadians crew in the house. I want to say large up to Leroy and them. A large up the color squad representing holding it down. You know, before the show, they actually called me and they text me. They say, production, where are you now? I say, yo, I'm sleeping. I get ready for soca session where they say they making up a putter oil long if I want to pass through. I say I couldn't pass through. You know, but thank you very much, you guys, for the offer. Because it's been a long time I ate oil long. And I've been craving that for like over 12 years. 12 years. So in the meantime, as I said, I have Mix and Hits in the house. How are you, sir? How are you?
Good. How you doing, man? What's going on?
I am okay. So, Mix and Hits. Tell the people who you are. Who is Mix and Hits?
Mix and Hits. Mix and Hits right now is, well, like you mentioned before, resident DJ with Boom Boom Time on Sundays between 4 and 6 with Sister P and the Angel. And when I'm not doing that, well, trying to stay on the scene, you know.
See, okay, but how you get into the music? How did you actually get into? First of all, where are you from?
I'm born and raised here. My family's from Trinidad.
Hey, Trinidad background. That's wonderful. Right. Tell them about your family, because your family also is pioneers in this community.
Yeah, my father is Stephen Payne. He part of Roots Cultural Association since the inception.
Yeah.
Since the inception of Carnival here in Montreal.
Yes.
So you could say Carnival kind of started in our spare room, our garage, or whatever, you know.
So you've been playing in glue and thing all your life,
Yeah, you know.
So daddy been spanking you and say, put your hand out of that. Don't touch that.
Well,
don't touch the feathers.
Every kind of April, May, you could smell glue, you know. Mm-hmm. And then, well, I had no choice. I had to wear a costume. So.
Okay, so daddy. But
my father's really the one behind the music. He always had a collection of music, and he always used to pass it on to me. I remember he bought me my first Walkman, and he used to hook me up with mixtapes, and it started from there, from a very, very, very young age, man. And the library just kept growing. And before I came on the scene, I was always doing mixtapes, mix CDs.
Yeah.
And then the technology switched over. It became a little more affordable.
Yeah.
So with that, that's when I came out. And it's so funny because I was telling you before, I don't consider myself a soca DJ.
Yes.
But the very first party I ever played was with the soca pioneers of Montreal. It was a Father's Day dance, and it was King Chow, 610,
yes,
Johnny Cool,
yes,
Love Express.
No, okay, yeah.
So all the pioneers.
All the
right?
pioneers, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's how I came out. That was the very first dance I played.
Yo, since talking about starting off and thing, who exactly like was the inspiration? I mean, let's say which DJ that you actually admire at that time during that era?
To be honest, growing up, there were two fellas, and I'll tell you why. One was LDG.
Yes.
And the reason being, LDG to me, to this day, is still one of the masters of the mix.
Yes.
And the other one was Tough. Tough, just his passion for the music. It's not even when he's behind the ones and twos. It's when he's away from it.
Yeah.
Everything that he does when he's away from it too, and you don't even hear him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's doing so many things, but he's silent at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of admire that about him too. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go into your dad with the mask and a little bit of culture before we come back to you again with the music. And I want your input on what you think about like the Carifiesta, not the Carifiesta, like the way the carnival is going today, where is this like the lack of costumes? What's your views on that? For me personally, I think that they should put a little more emphasis. Yes, the juvenile thing, some people and they may not afford to, the teacher bands, you know, may not afford to to get the costumes and thing, and have one or two teacher bands, you know. Yes, I will maybe agree with that, but now I think the teacher bands kind of taking over.
Yeah, and it's funny because growing up with it, I thought maybe one day it was something that the torch would be passed on to me and I might continue it. But I feel that it's not, it's almost not taken for what it should be. To me, Carnival, it's a business.
Yes.
And it should be run like a business.
Yes.
I feel that it's something that should be put together in a package that should be proposed to the city. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, there should be a team of, you know, PR people to sit down with the city and pitch it to them.
Yeah.
And show them the benefits of having a carnival and what goes into it. Because people don't seem to realize, man, some bands really don't even get material here. They got to drive down to New York or bring material back from Trinidad or whatever it is. You know what I mean? There's a lot behind the scenes that people are not too familiar with. And
yeah, I think that is the reason why I decided to bring up this topic, because your dad being in this whole arena, and I'm kind of pioneer, as I would say, you know, you might have a different in-look and understanding of some of the struggles he's been through.
I've seen it, been a part of it. I remember taking trips to New York, leaving early in the morning just to go to Manhattan to get material. A certain type of feather you can't find anywhere else. You know what I mean? And drive back the same day, man. But that was his passion for it too. He wouldn't substitute for anything.
Yes.
You know, imitation or whatever. You know what I mean?
I know.
He's a master of detail. There's no open spaces in his costume. Everything is covered in detail. You know.
Yeah, but overall, me personally, I think there's a lot of changes that need to be made. That's why, for the longest while, I write for the community contact. You know that, obviously.
Right.
For the longest while, I kind of dislike talking about Carifiesta. I would say it, you know, like really writing about it, because my passion for it is different and my views is different. So, you know, to avoid any kind of
it's a touchy subject.
It's very, very touchy.
People react differently.
Yeah. As I tell you, some people have a passion for it, and some people just do it just for doing its sake.
Right.
So let's go back to the music now. Same question, but pertaining to the music. What changes have you seen from back in the days to now, within your time? Because you've been there with the days of the pioneers, LDG and Tough still doing it strong. But what have you seen in the market? How have the market changed?
You know what? I remember DJing as there was sort of like a hierarchy system. The fellas that were doing it for a while, they automatically got like this seniority, this type of respect. You know what I mean? I still hold it for the guys that were doing it before me, right? But I feel like since it's so easy and it doesn't take much to come out and call yourself a DJ today, you know, I feel that there's that lack of respect to those that were there before. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't even go. It goes beyond the amount of time that they've put into it. It's their knowledge of music as well. And today, that's not showcased as much because, like I was telling you before, some fellas could come out and just download the top 100 and make a living weekly off of the top 100.
Exactly.
You know? You know what I mean? And never put themselves in a situation where they got to dig deeper to find another tune or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So, the game has changed. I still think it takes a musical ear to still be a DJ, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're using a laptop or a controller or whatever. Still having a musical ear and a knowledge of music is still key. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's the key. Knowing your music and doing your research, and you know, like there's some people in them who's fortunate, like old people like me and you, who grew up knowing, seeing the actual effect of certain old songs, you know, and then afterwards there's the youths now, like the ones of them who actually put the effort in learning, they actually see the effect that these songs have, so they're like, okay, you know what, this song has this effect, so that's going around, watching, observing, and learning. That to me, that is the key, especially for for some of the youth, and them should apply to themselves.
Yeah, because there's nothing better than that reaction that you could get from a crowd if you draw a tune from way back and they don't expect it from you.
Yeah.
And you pull it and they react. You can't describe that feeling, that effect. You know what I mean?
Okay, so now your soca session. So talking about the soca market, as you say, you're a DJ that plays almost everything, right? Tell me some of the genres you touch, basically.
You know, it's funny. I first grew up. I'm a funk R&B guy, you know, and so that's still my passion.
Yeah.
But I touch everything. I mean, I do wedding receptions as well. So, boy, I could touch classic rock too. You know what I mean?
If people want to contact you for bookings, how can they go about doing that?
They can go to my Mix and Hits page.
Yes.
Or
where?
On Facebook.
Yes.
On Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And they can contact me by my number, 514-241-9781.
Okay, so now going back to the soca now, what your views on the soca market now from back then, and what you think, what direction you think we heading right now?
I honestly, I think soca's it's taken a turn. I think different countries, different nations are starting to put their flavor on it, or maybe soca's turning to them. You know, I saw it coming a couple of years ago with the Afro soca kind of thing, right? Because the Nigerian music it's similar.
Yes.
I mean, if you just run a Nigerian rhythm, it could be taken for a dance hall,
yes,
or it could be taken for soca, groovy soca.
It is true, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think well, it's here now, and I think it's going to evolve even more. I think as far as soca crossing over onto the international level, I mean, yeah, Marshall's done it. Bungie's still trying to do it.
Sometimes I really wonder what Bungie doing. I will be honest. I wonder sometimes what he doing something different.
Yeah, but he's playing. I honestly, I feel he's playing with the beat a little too much.
Yeah,
trying to switch it up to. I don't know if it's to resemble a kind of dance music kind of thing or whatever.
But what I realize, a lot of these artists now lately they spend a lot of time in the European, so that is the influence they get in now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they get that kind of different.
And I guess it's easy. I mean, I guess some artists go where the money is, and if that kind of vibe is pulling them,
exactly.
You know, you can't blame them for riding it, right?
So that same question, but based in Montreal soca scene, what direction do you think we heading now?
Wow, the crowd has changed.
In what way?
Well, I think it seems like the mature crowd is sort of like taking a seat back. They're not coming out as often.
Yeah.
They might do a once or twice a year kind of thing.
Or maybe they're being a little more selective.
Most definitely. And like I said, it's probably a once or twice a year kind of thing. You seem to have it on lock. You seem to have the younger crowd.
The younger crowd.
Yeah, it seems like soca's a younger thing now, man. You know, and I like I said, I've been out a couple of times, and I felt like, wow, this is It's for another level. It's for another generation now, I find.
Yeah.
I'm still a groovy soca guy, so the up-tempo kind of leaning towards power soca, that's not me. That's me one day only. You know?
Yeah, but other as a Trinidadian viewing, I think I had a talk with Nicholas. We had on the first. He was our first DJ on the road to Montreal Carifiesta. We had a talk about power soca, and I was telling my views from a Trinidad point of view. It's dying, right?
Yeah.
But the smaller islands, you just have to say smaller islands. The other islands, people they go fancy, The other islands and them, they more tend to lean towards the power soca and still representing hardcore like Grenada and St. Vincent and Antigua, St. Lucia, and those places. They tend to put more effort into the power soca.
Yeah.
So I see Montreal now. Montreal is a mixed place, very diverse place. You know, like our Chinese, we hide in.
Well, I was about to say, what's your take on, and I have to say it this way, on Trini Soca? Because as far as in Montreal, where do you see Trini Soca? Is there a big movement? There used to be.
No, there used to be. Yeah.
There used to be. Now, when you asked me before, what's the changes or what's the difference? That's the thing. It seemed like soca. When you said soca, you sort of had one island in mind more than others, right? That doesn't seem to be the case today.
No. Now, I think living in Montreal, the best thing about being in Montreal is the diversity, because you, as a DJ, you accept and you open to different islands quickly.
Yeah.
You know, like if you go to the other places, if you go Brooklyn, you know, let's say you go a big soca party, they tend to lean towards more Trinidad soca. But here now, you will see I pulling out more Vincy soca, you know, because more of the party goers.
You're better than me. I just leave it for the Vincy DJs. Honest, you know what I mean? And that's no disrespect. What I mean by that is they'll be better at it than me.
Yeah. Look at when I play that MCSO.
Right. Yeah.
You see, I put it on Beckett and Rush Me.
And this is what I was telling you, man. I said, you know, that was an opportunity for me to see what you can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was a great venue for you to showcase yourself.
Yeah. Actually, it was my first time.
Right.
At MCSO. Yeah.
Right. And I enjoyed. We hung out that night, and I enjoyed just watching to see what you were gonna pull next. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But see, that's back to what you say, knowledge, because that was the first time I went there, I didn't know what to expect. You know, because let's say I go to like Visions or Downtown, I know it's a more younger crowd, so I already know what to mentally expect. So
and that was a mature crowd.
That was a mature crowd. Yeah. I really enjoyed that crowd. It was nice.
Yeah, and you kicked it off early, so that's another thing. Early in the night, right? Dance floor didn't even kick off yet.
Yeah.
And you're up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was fun to see you build the hype. It was like you started drawing some older tunes.
Yeah.
And like it built gradually, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was nice. It was nice to watch, man.
It was nice.
Yeah.
So, road to Montreal Carifiesta. Tell me some of the projects you have in store for Montreal before Carifiesta. Any bookings or any events?
Yeah, next week I'm on Butcher T's anniversary party.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see you promoting that.
Yeah.
I want to first let me cut you off. Sorry, large of the Butcher T. This guy always support me 100%, especially for my event Touch of Red.
Right.
I want to say large of Butcher T.
Yeah. So that's going on next Sunday, May 22nd at the Firm in the West Island. Yeah. So it'll be myself, Tough, Professor.
Yes.
Butcher T said he'll feel out the vibes. He'll see how it's going.
Yeah.
And he might jump on a little bit, you know, but he'll be playing host most of the night.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, next month, I think the day after your thing.
Yeah.
I'll be at Caribbean Paradise with LDG.
Veterans.
Yeah. So again, catering to the mature crowd. Well, it's a mixed crowd. Mixed crowd, you know, and that's all about music. That's all about more music, less talk, just vibes. You know what I mean?
Oh, so tell people more about that, like how to get tickets, if prices at the door, who to contact.
For June 25th, you can contact myself, Mix and Hits at 514-241-9781, or Gary T. I don't know his number offhand, but you can reach him on Facebook as well. So it's just Gary T and I. There are no outlets. We'll be handling the ticket sales.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Montreal, don't forget that is your pre-jump up, your warm-up before Carifiesta. Check that out at Caribbean Paradise for sure. LDG and Mix and Hits. That will be our production song we passed through there for sure, 100%.
Definitely.
You know, that would be a nice vibe. So on the leave and tip, you have any words for the people in them?
Listen, keep supporting your DJs. You know, big up production sound. Reason being, I mean, I've been following this road to Carnival or Carifiesta since you started.
Oh, so yes, tell me some of the things you learned and some of the benefits you think.
First thing I learned, man, what I got out of this, I'm able to put faces to names now.
Yes.
That was one thing. I used to hear all different kind of sound crews and whatever, but never knew the faces, and probably passed them straight a few times and never even knew who they were. So I appreciate you for that. And I learned a lot about them at the same time as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were able to showcase their talents as well. And it made me realize that, you know, at some point I was thinking, man, I think there's more DJs than there are parties in this city. You know what I mean? But through this, I realized there's lanes for everybody. You know what I mean? And with the diversity that came through here as well, I discovered there's lanes for those diversities as well too. Yeah. So, the soca scene it's a movement, man. It's there.
All we need is teamwork.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Yeah, no, and my perception of the whole DJ scene too. I sometimes when you sit back and watch, you kind of feel like everybody's just doing their own thing. You know what I mean? But I'm starting to realize that, you know, everyone's on the same page. Striving for probably the same thing at the end of the day too. So there's no reason why DJs shouldn't be getting along and bigging up each other and supporting each other. So
exactly,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, so one show, so we're gonna put the Mix and Hits to the challenge, put him on the ones and twos, and listen to him and hear what he has to offer towards the culture and towards our genre, soca music, right? Fly Soca Sessions. You talk about Fly Soca Sessions, looking for an annual CD Volume 2. Fly Soca Sessions is going to be coming out the day of Army Fed, John the Baptist Day. You'll get your free copy for sure. Be the first one to get your copy, Fly Soca Sessions. Now the question is, who is the host of this CD? Last year it was Leroy from Lexo TV, and year before it was a couple of collaboration of artists. So 2016, get your copy and you will know. So it's about 20 minutes to the hour. I'm going